Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Sportsman's Warehouse, Counts Marine, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, and Avery Superstore.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this 18th anniversary show. I appreciate Gene Smith being in studio as a co-host, and thank you, Gene.
Good morning. Yeah,
all these many years that you've been, and of course, Dave Gabbard is on the line also up in Sparta, Illinois, for the World Championship trap shooting championship, where he's been up there since back in January, I think. He's been shooting trap.
He's in hog heaven.
Yeah, he'll be coming home tomorrow. But hey, we got a special guest with us right now, longtime friend, one of the first people that I reached out to when I became outdoor editor for the Commercial Appeal, and was good enough to take me and my wife fishing several times. But about the same time as this show started, another event was kicked off by this guy, and we're talking about Gary Mason. He is the founder of the Legends of the Outdoors National Hall of Fame, which comes up here in August the 17th, just around the corner. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Larry. Yeah, we're only a week away.
Amazing. Well, this class is, of course, they're all special. When I look at it and I see John Stevens, maybe he'll get a haircut before he comes to this. I've told him that. I said, look clean now, John. But what a great name for John, the president of Rich-N-Tone, Sherry Crumley. Golly, who didn't wear that tree bark back in the days,
yeah.
And then Tom Kelly, Outdoor Writers for Sports Afield, and turkey hunting books, and Pete Chipley and of PSE Archery, and then one of my longtime friends who I reached out and I wrote a little article about this little company that started down in West Point, Mississippi. I went down there and interviewed them. They hadn't done nothing. But Bill Sugg was one of those guys with Mossy Oak.
You could do it all.
Yeah, with the camouflage. And these are all part of the inductees for this big event. And so many more awards are coming through. Gary, talk about the growth of this from 2002 to 2019. Talk about that.
Well, boy, Larry, it's been just phenomenal. And, we're both about to tell our age because you and I have been around,
it's okay.
Since Mossy Oak and Avery and all those companies didn't have but one or two products. And
that's right.
They've really grown, and we've grown with them. And I just can't tell you how many great people are in our Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. And we created this Hall of Fame for those folks and for the ones that will go in there. And everybody says, oh, you own the Hall of Fame. Well, no, I really don't. It's all the people that are in there and those that will be in there sometime in the very near future. But the growth has been phenomenal, the amount of people that knows who we are. And I've got my assistant coach here, Kenny Loudon, with me, and we're sitting in the air conditioning this Saturday morning. And we just seen Harold Knight a little while ago and talked to Harold, one of our Hall of Fame members.
Yes.
One of the first him and David was two of the first ones that ever went in 2002.
One of my longtime friends, both of those guys, I had the privilege of taking my mother-in-law to David Hale's and Harold Knight's compound up in Kentucky, and spent the night in the lodge with my mother-in-law, and she talked about Harold Knight for, I think, till the day she passed away. But, again, talking to Gary Mason, I'm glad you got your assistant coach. We're going to talk a little bit about Bethel in just a minute. But this all starts on August the 17th. The boarding begins at 9, followed by the banquet introduction. And it's all makes it really unique. It's on the General Jackson Showboat, the Music City Queen. And I got to ask you, in the old days, it started in a hotel and things along that line. The move to the General Jackson, how did that come about? I've always wanted to ask you that. I mean, because it makes it a unique situation.
Well, I tell you, how God really blesses those of us that don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, and, you got about right here.
The first 2 years that I held it right at Paris Land State Park, right there at our home waters there on Kentucky Lake, and a beautiful venue. And Ray Scott told me that second year that we needed to move it. He said, this is going to grow. He said, you need to move this to a place where they've got an airport. And so we moved it to Nashville that next year. And we was at one of the other hotels there at Nashville for 7 years.
Yes.
Then they had the big flood. We were supposed to go to Opryland. Well, once again, that's God taking care of it.
That's
yeah,
right.
I hated that everybody got flooded out, but we had promised to go to Opryland and couldn't go there. And they said, well, hey, we've got a little old boat over here that can hold a lot of people. Why don't y'all move this thing over to the boat? And we did, and we've been there ever since. This is our 8th year of being on the Music City Queen, the General Jackson showboat. And
it's
on Friday night, we get to go over and actually ride the boat and see the dinner show, and we just have a great time that whole weekend.
Well, it's just an amazing event that you've been able to put on. You got Garrett Steele. I think he's going to be doing a little concert there on the boat, if I'm not mistaken. All of us know Garrett from his love of fishing and things along that line, but to have him, he's been on there with, he told me one time, I think he was on stage with Dolly Parton at one time. Stephen Curtis Chapman another. I mean, what a unique thing. And then from the Hall of Fame, which is again August the 17th, we got to come back to Bethel. I mean, you got your sister, you got your right arm there sitting next to you. It's probably your right and your left arm, and you look at what Bethel has done. Here they go again. How about KJ and Dax? I mean, tell our listeners what just happened for those two young men.
Well, those two young men just won Team of the Year by Bassmasters, and that's like their Angler of the Year program for the Elite Series. And they were the best team. And now this is unbelievable, but they by 1 ounce over 4 tournaments.
Wow!
They were the best team. So the competition out here is really strong, and it's just unbelievable how good these young men and women are that fish in the college series all across the nation. And
now this means now that you're going on to Watts Bar. I mean, is that the next step in late August? Is that right?
Actually, what else happened was 4 of our guys two of them won the Bassmasters National Championship, which was Cole Floyd and Carter McNeil.
Okay.
And then Garrett Enders and Cody Huff won 3rd place, and the top 4 boats out of the national championship gets to go on to the Bassmasters College Bracket Series. And in that college bracket series, 8 young men or women fish in a head-to-head bracket series battle. All you got to do is beat the guy you're fishing against each day. And the last man standing will be the college angler that fishes, the only college angler, in the Bassmasters National Championship, which is the Bassmasters Classic.
Wow, a chance to go to the Classic. Is that not thrilling? And to see Bethel represented so well, talk about the success there. And you've told me this before, but people always like to hear it from you. When you think about Bethel University there in McKenzie, Tennessee, and you think that what a name you guys have been able to make for yourself. So, what's the key to success here, Gary? What's happened here?
Well, I think the number one key is the Lord has blessed us tremendously with some really good young anglers that's walked through the halls of Bethel, and each and every one of them has contributed greatly to our success. We've won 8 national championships.
Wow.
We've also won a bracket series. I think about 10 regional tournaments all across the nation.
Amazing.
And a School of the Year and a Team of the Year. So our success, though, it's all about those young people that's fishing for us. We've been called everything from the Alabama of college bass fishing to the Kentucky of college bass fishing, but I think none of those really fit what these young men and young women have been able to accomplish in the 10 small years that we've been running this program. They're just wonderful young people.
It's hard to believe, though, when you look at this, and nothing against McKenzie, okay? Nothing. It's not in a big city. You're not in a big city. You're not a huge school, and yet you've been able to do this, I think, and maybe Dave Gabbard and Gene Smith will agree with this, that your process of selection, you not only look at their ability to fish, but you look at other assets these kids have, don't you?
Well, we do, and of course, Kentucky Lake is a huge draw for them as well.
Yes,
one of the best lakes in the nation still today. But yeah, I look at their fishing ability. We look at their grades. We look at their morals. You can just about shake a kid's hand and look him in the eye and tell what kind of young person he is. And each and every one of them that come to us, that we put on the team, I think are the leaders of our future industry.
And when you look at this thing, also, how many scholarships do you award? I mean, what's the
well, our total team this upcoming year will be 32.
32. Yeah.
So,
and how many applications do you get to want to fish?
Oh, mercy. Probably, I'm just going to say between 50 and 60 a year.
Golly, that's amazing.
And that's not counting just the kids that talk to me. That's the actual. I have each one of them that wants to be recruited by me fill me out a resume, and not the parents, but the kid themselves. The young person. And we take a look at each and every resume. We don't pass one up. But I can't go watch each one of these kids fish. So what they say on that resume and what they put on it, and I tell them all this, it can mean the difference on whether or not you're at Bethel or somewhere else.
Well, it's Gary Mason with us, the founder of Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame. A lot of credit on that goes to his wife, Cindy. I think she's been kind of overlooked here, but she couldn't do it without her, right?
Oh man,
she's your secretary.
That gal will get a crown in heaven. I tell you, she's been my rock, and I couldn't do it without my family. My family are my free workforce.
Well, I know that. All you got to do is go to Gary's Facebook page and see how much he loves his family. I just enjoy watching, looking at those pictures. Gary, thank you, buddy. That's, again, Legends of the Outdoors, August the 17th. What's that website for Bethel to go check on it and the Legends? What are the websites there?
The Legends of the Outdoors is www.legendsoftheoutdoors.com, and all my contact information is at the very bottom of the front page. And then from Bethel, you can go to betheluniversity.com.
It's that simple, folks. Gary, thank you, and thank you, assistant there. He don't get to say anything, but he's your silent partner. So you thank Kenny, true, okay? You thank him for us,
too. Yeah, I will,
too.
And that's Bethel University in Tennessee. There's one up in Minnesota, but
oh my goodness! Well, we got to get rid of them. I mean, we got to make a move here. There's only one Bethel. Come on. I hope they don't have a bass team. That would be real confusing sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You know? Okay. Thanks, Gary. We'll talk to you. Good luck, buddy. All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Before we take a break, now I got to ask Dave real quick when he sees the accomplishment here in Bethel. That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is. It's been amazing, and not only do they have a outstanding bass team, they have some good shooters that represent Bethel.
I thought you would. Mackenzie puts out some good shooters in that area, right?
Yeah, there's several Bethel shooters up here competing.
There you go. Yeah.
That I noticed when they flash all the scores up on the big screen, flipping along, and recognizing some of the names and some outstanding young lady shooters, shooting for Bethel.
Yeah, well, we got to mention those. Let's take a break. Dave Gabbert's up in Sparta, Illinois. Gene Smith is here, just waiting for his closing remarks. Never know what he might say, but we'll take a break, come right back on this 18th anniversary show for Outdoors of Larry Ray.